This is Valley News Live at noon.
Killed in an Ottertail County train collision as Joseph Mack. It happened yesterday just before 9 in the morning. Authorities found a badly damaged Dodge pickup truck and Mack was dead behind the wheel. Deputies say the two workers aboard the Canadian Pacific train were not injured. No word on what caused the crash, but the victim's family tells Valley News Live they think the lack of safety precautions at the railway is to blame, and they don't think that that's what have happened if the track had cross arms. Well, what a way to start the day. Chilly was definitely the feeling this morning, and it's only going to go down weather-wise. Let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green.
Good afternoon. Yes, we've enjoyed that sunshine coming out in a lot of places today, but it doesn't really feel that warm even with the sun because of the wind chill, and temperatures themselves are cold with that chilly air mass that's been taking over, and it will only get colder as you mentioned. So looking downtown, nice and bright and blue out there here this afternoon, but again, don't let that fool you. It's cold. It's 5 degrees in Fargo and in Grand Forks. We're at 0 in Bemidji. We've got sunshine in Fargo, other places more on the cloudy side, and it's breezy, and that's creating some wind chills that are down into the teens and 20s below. It feels like 16 below in Fargo, 25 below in Thief River Falls right now, and as we mentioned, these will only get colder. Our wind speeds are still in the 20s, a gust to 29 miles per hour in Baudette. That wind coming in out of the northwest, and that cold air continues to drive in. It's also stirring up a little bit of snow, and we've had some areas of some drifting happening, and that's leading to some polishing of some of those roadways and some slick spots. There have been some slide offs on some of our highways. 2.5 mile visibility, Detroit Lakes there. We're down to 3 miles in Langdon thanks to a little bit of blowing snow there too. So keep that in mind if you're going to be traveling today. Wind chill alerts starting 6 o'clock tonight, and these last all the way into next Tuesday because we're looking at wind chills that will be potentially dropping as low as 50 below for some spots. More details on this coming cold in just a couple of minutes.
This is weather we have to be prepared for, as in your car, and also making sure that you're dressing appropriately just as well. Thanks again, Lisa. Now, one of the best ways to be prepared for getting stranded in extreme cold is a winter survival kit for your car. Many of us have them, but if you don't, here's what you should know. Now, the Minnesota Department of Public Safety suggests using an empty 3-pound coffee can or similar container with a plastic cover to store these items. Now, with small candles and matches to melt snow and provide some heat, red bandana or cloth, whistle, and road flares to signal for help. Food that can be eaten hot or cold, like candy bars, hard candy, energy bars, jerky, or canned meat and poultry. Pack a cell phone adapter to plug into the lighter, plastic flashlight and spare batteries, small sharp knife, and plastic spoons, a large plastic garbage bag, pencil, and paper. Also have a sleeping bag or blankets, and extra warm clothes like a snowmobile suit, and heavy boots to keep warm. A 30-foot cord to use as homing line when you must exit the vehicle, that is. Basic tools and booster cables to jumpstart your car. A shovel plus sand, cat litter or other grit to put under your tires if you get stuck in snow or ice, and tow cables or chain. Remember to put this stuff in the front part of your car in case your trunk gets frozen shut. Check out more tips on the Minnesota DPS website. Minnesota Senate Republicans are countering Democratic Governor Tim Walz's request for security funding for next month's murder trial for the former police officer charged with killing George Floyd. Now, instead of a $35 million fund, the Republican proposal would target Minneapolis by diverting local government aid from cities that fail to pay for mutual aid assistance. Republicans are pushing back on the governor's proposal, calling it a bailout for Minneapolis, failing to adequately fund its police. The state is coordinating with federal authorities and more than 200 chief law enforcement agencies across the state for the March 8th trial. Well, North Dakota U.S. Senator John Hoeven wants another 6 years in Washington. He's seeking re-election to his third term. He was first elected in 2010 and succeeded longtime Democratic Byron Dorgan, who retired. Hoeven is a member of the Senate Agriculture, Appropriations, Energy, and Indian Affairs committees. He served as North Dakota governor from 2000 to 2010. As vaccination efforts gain momentum worldwide, tech companies and countries are racing to develop a standard way to document vaccination status. In the UK, one company is already rolling out the so-called digital vaccine passports. NBC's Sarah Harmon reports from London.
They're here. Digital vaccine passports are rolling out for healthcare workers in the north of England. It's the work of British company V Health Passport.
What's the advantage of having this digitally? Why not just give everyone a piece of paper?
People are starting to sell fake COVID passports so they can go on airlines. They're using the V code because it is end-to-end secure. It ensures that none of these certificates, either paper or digital, can be forged.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
They're far from alone. IBM, Microsoft, even the Danish government are all working on their own versions of a digital vaccine passport to reopen borders and allow people to travel without quarantines.
We very much see this pandemic transforming the travel experience, similar to what 9/11 did with security. Health passports, proof of vaccination going forward is something that we really believe will be with us for some time.
IATA, the International Air Transport Association, which is piloting its own vaccine passport, says the biggest hurdle isn't the technology at all, but the lack of clear standards from governments and the World Health Organization.
The standards that we need in place, we needed them months ago. So yeah, we need to pace the step up.
Most of the industry folks that we spoke with said that until we know more about how the vaccine actually works, whether it prevents transmission or just severe infection, travelers can probably expect that they're going to need to show proof of a negative COVID test as well as a vaccine passport in order to travel internationally in the future. The best guess from a lot of folks we spoke to was that this could be weeks, not months, away from some airports. Sarah Harmon, NBC News, London.
Rapid coronavirus breath tests are set to roll out in the Netherlands. Starting this week, testing facilities in Amsterdam will introduce a breath test called Spironotes. The machine works similarly to a breath alcohol test. A person simply breathes into the machine, which can detect a coronavirus infection within minutes. Health experts say the machine is more reliable in detecting a negative test. A positive test should be followed up with a PCR nasal swab test. Well, if you're looking to stay on top of the latest vaccine information, get our new VNO Vaccine Tracker. You can access national and local resources in just 2 easy steps. Just open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen. Then tap the link that pops up. It was a better than expected weekly jobless claims report. The Labor Department reported that first-time claims for unemployment insurance totaled 779,000 for the week ending on January 30th. Estimates had the expected number to be 830,000. The numbers Thursday were the lowest week for claims since November 28th, an indication that the U.S. economy continues its slow recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, there was a sharp decline on the total number of people receiving unemployment benefits. That number saw a nearly 500,000 drop to 17.8 million. Well, gun sales hit a historic high in January. According to the National Shooting Sports Foundation, gun dealers sold more than 2 million firearms in January. That's a 75% increase over the same month last year, and the biggest selling January on record. The latest numbers continue a record-setting surge that began in early 2020 when the coronavirus pandemic took hold. They also come after the inauguration of President Joe Biden and the deadly riots at the U.S. Capitol building. Well, coming up at noon, the pandemic may be changing the typical Super Bowl Sunday, but officials say you shouldn't expect Americans to skip out on the food. And what a chilly day, but it is only going to get colder from here on out. Weather up next with meteorologist Lisa Green to see what to expect.